I think as the king faces cancer treatment, I think it's an incredibly positive image to see him on his way to church in Sandringham this weekend and maybe for subsequent weekends, and being seen waving to people on his way to St Mary Magdalene Church just hours after his um, his letter thanking people about the the sackfuls of messages of goodwill that he's already received, and I'm sure he'll receive significantly more than that. He smiled and waved at a crowd of more than 100 well wishers as he attended the estate chapel with Queen Camilla, and being greeted by the Reverend Canon Paul Williams. He was wearing this long brown coat, using an umbrella as a walking stick. He strolled at a brisk pace and, looked the picture of health. And I'm sure the treatment will take it out of him over the coming weeks. But I think I think he will be buoyed and heartened and comforted by the knowledge that he is already setting his seal on his reign, and already there's a pronounced difference to the reign of his mother. This spirit of openness, this spirit of thankfulness, something that, of course, he's learnt from his mother, but that spirit of openness is new, and I'm sure it's something that the late Queen would have probably wished for, but she was almost certainly advised against it. It was, of course, during her reign that televisions were invited in for the Christmas broadcast, for the documentary on the royal family, and so on. And I think the king feels that he is making a positive impact on the way people approach cancer, and I think he is absolutely right. And I know my first instinct when I was diagnosed was to see what I could do to spread the word about resilience and facing this and so on. And I remember I had a serious conversation with, and a fellow called Woody Cook came over, and we broke the news on, I think, Instagram or something, or YouTube, I don't remember which one it was, about my diagnosis. And it was it was a good thing to have done. When I went back into hospital, because the first treatment was slightly botched by people who didn't really know what they were doing when it came to hematology. I had the most wonderful consultant, and I had to go back into hospital because I was leaking, and blood was going everywhere. It was horrible. And Woody and his mother and Zoe Ball, and his father, Norm, Fatboy Slim, and some other people sent some wonderful, quite public messages. And there was a story, I think, in the Sun newspaper or something. And I must say, I was quite touched by this sort of public response. But I felt useful. I felt useful to be able to raise the issue. And I would like to continue doing that. I mean, I think what the king is doing is right. So often this is a disease which is spoken of in hushed terms, and hushed terms and sort of technicalities. Are you in remission? People say very quietly, as if it's something like the closet. I don't know if I'm in remission. I don't really understand those words, but certainly my last scan was clear.